Hello, this is Angelo, and this is the 14th Finish Stronger Masterclass. And I'm so excited today to present you how to actually get the meaning. Meaning, the meaning of life. We get so hooked up with all this clutter, all this noise on a daily basis, and sometimes we forget what it's all about. So, before we begin, as always, I want to thank you and congratulate you for being here. You know by now how tough, how challenging it is to be in a 100-day challenge. So many people have already, skipped at least one master for them to sit comfortably on their excuses, and they're no longer serving beliefs and habits rather than charge themselves and pass through this challenging period and towards their happiness and success they so much deserve and desire. But you are here, this is what matters, and I want to remind you that it is a very good idea to switch off your phone, make sure no notifications and no reasons for you to get distracted will blink or sound in the next 30 to 45 minutes. As I like to say, for this period of time, let's just imagine it's like the whole world is occupied by just two people, you and I. So, that said, I want to remind you that it is a great idea to keep notes, but always remember that you have the replay at your disposal if you want to be fully present on what we're talking about here, especially today, that the subject is so important. And last but not least, I want to remind you that we have crossed the point of no return, meaning the only outcome that we allow in our consciousness is to land happily and safely at our ideal destination. Last week, we talked about quantum leaps and how to create a miracle in your life. And by the way, we also reminded ourselves that we are one of them. We are a miracle already, and we are also a miracle in the making, in the sense that we are revealing our super self. This week, we will talk about the meaning of life and how important it is as we wrap up this 100-day Finish Stronger Challenge to make sure that we don't miss the point. So, that said, the question that I always ask each and every one of you, and the question that you want to ask yourself many times during the day: how do you feel? How do I feel right now? Because the better you feel, the more energy you have in order to reach your destination. And I also want to ask you another question today, another vital question, another vital checkup point. And that is, where are you right now on this journey? Because there are only four outcomes, four potential outcomes. Let's start from the easiest one. The best possible scenario for you right now is to, by now, to give some kind of effort and get the results that you want. This is the best scenario. So, Angelo, I don't need these last 9 days. I have already finished stronger. I am already at my destination, what I have chosen to be my number one priority for this challenge. Great. And there is another option. I have given the effort, but I don't yet have the results. And many of you will be in this category here, this quadrant. What that means is by now you have realized that what I told you at the very beginning, masterclass number 1, be careful of the momentum of your previous, no longer serving beliefs and habits. And by now you know that this momentum is not like an amount that you should consider, like a small amount. It is a considerable challenge to get through these beliefs and habits. And also, you get an indication that you're on the right track because you're putting the effort there and you are creating new neural pathways, and now you're getting set for success at the level that you desire. The next quadrant would be for you not to have given the effort by now. So not much has changed during your day, but somehow you got the results. So now you know that there is some kind of momentum on the flip side, on the positive side for you, or you had what is considered to be, like a lucky strike. But know that if you don't put the effort to create new, higher value thoughts and actions in order to create new, higher value beliefs and habits accordingly, at some point in the future, you will find that this success cannot be repeated. So, for example, maybe you've got, uh, an income out of nowhere, or maybe you've got you won the lottery, or maybe there was, a client called and told you, you know what, I need this, and here are some extra $30,000 for you for to deliver this kind of service. But at the same time, is this something that you can replicate? And most probably the answer is no. And this is where you realize that putting in the effort and creating new habits, the ones that your super self has, in order to be able to protect the happiness and success you desire, then you're in for a treat. So, last, of course, would be not to have given the effort and have no results whatsoever. And by now, I hope that changes in your life. I promised that I will talk about the meaning of life. And of course, now let's talk about a bit about the story of Steve Jobs. An amazing human being in terms of what he has given to the humanity at large, like these new breakthroughs, but also the way to think completely outside of the box. I mean, it's as if the box was a dot to Steve Jobs in terms of thinking. But at the same time, this person who has made like so many breakthroughs through leadership, okay, he didn't invent the iPhone or whatever, but at the same time, he didn't manage to conquer enough his inner world and get through the challenge of the disease that at some point took his life. So, this is very important because sometimes we have like a one-dimensional definition of success in terms of, like achievement or monetary success, and we forget that life is multidimensional. And it is very important for us to make sure. Also, for those of you who know the story about Steve Jobs, many argue that he was, like he got the results, but he was not a good leader in the sense of, like having, like good manners with his employees and so on. I wouldn't make a discussion on this because I know nothing about it and I cannot talk about rumors here. But what I care about is for you to take a moment and make sure that your definition of success is fitting to your life, as we said at the very beginning, masterclass number 1, your one and only precious life. We all have one go at this, and you want to make sure that your life is full only of the things that deserve to be a part of it. Let's see another example. Michael Schumacher. He has 7 F1 championships together with Lewis Hamilton. They are, like the best F1 drivers in history. But he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong gear a few years back. And of course, many of you would know that this accident that he had left him in a comatose situation for many years. And then by now, we don't know much about Michael Schumacher's development in terms of his health, because his family is protecting him and all these rumors as well. But at the same time, we know one thing, that he definitely didn't deserve, with the life that he led, he definitely didn't deserve to be in the situation that he is today. And again, this is another reminder that sometimes we take for granted one of the most, if not the most precious thing, which is, of course, our health. And this is, again, very important, because we never, 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 no matter how busy our life is, whatever, we never want to miss the big picture. So no matter what is going on in our lives, we always want to keep our attention fixated on the big picture and make sure that our life works. It's not a happenstance, but it actually works because it works by design. We designed our life to fit into our thinking, our desires, our demands. It is our life, not somebody else's. And there is no right and wrong here. It's completely subjective, and it is up to you. And that said, I want to remind you that success is simply the cherry on top of the happy and fulfilling life. This is it. All we do is basically to grow. Yes, we might have, like a rush in a heartbeat when we achieve something, or when somebody puts, like a golden medal on us, or whatever, or when we raise the trophy, but that's about it. What about all the other seconds in our life? What matters is for us to realize that life is the big picture, not the moment. Yes, it is a sum total of magic moments if we let it, but these magic moments have nothing to do with achievement. So, for example, if you look back this year, all right, so maybe right now you have succeeded, you have, achieved some kind of goal, or maybe you're on the verge of achieving your goal, or maybe you're still struggling. But if you look back, you will find moments that you got, really close with your team, and you struggled so much that you had a breakthrough, or you made a realization about yourself. You didn't have the breakthrough about the company that you're working on or your business, but you had the realization about why you operate, think, act this way, and how to go about it in the future. And that realization made you grow enough that you actually realized this. And this growth, this evolution of our consciousness is what it's all about. As Thales, the great Greek philosopher, was saying, this is the number one task, the most difficult of all, to, to learn to know thyself. So, let me give you one of my greatest examples about this. So let's just say right now you're in the middle of Manhattan, maybe Times Square, and maybe, there's like a frantic activity of people and vehicles and whatever, like noise, motion, everything. So you look up, and there it is, an airplane soaring at about, 30,000 feet. And you say, oh, look what's going on here, like all this noise, and look how quiet, it's like almost as if it's floating in the air. And at the same time, there is someone on that airplane looking down, and he says, oh, look how cool this city is, like everything is like a little map, maybe like a Legoland or something, like created from our best dreams when we were little kids and playing, like a little city. And the cars, look them how quiet and how organized everything is, and the city seems to work, work fine. And at the same time, there is some kind of turbulence on the airplane. So this guy looking down, he goes like this, and he thinks all these thoughts, and he has a completely different experience from you being at the center of Manhattan, like being freaked out with what is going on around you. So it's all a matter of what? the perspective that you choose to have. This is it. The moment you shift your perspective, what you perceive as reality shifts as well. This is all. So, that said, get the meaning. And before I move on, before I give you the 5 powerful pointers, the 5 powerful secrets, the 5 powerful punchlines, so that you can make sure that you protect the meaning of your life, no matter what it is. I think these are universal. You can choose your own if you believe that for some reason they're not fitting to you. But before that, I want to remind you of, because I think you've heard it before from me or at least someone else, a story. And this story has to do with Darren Hardy, the successful business owner, and his mentor. And at some point, his mentor was at his deathbed. And Darren Hardy went to say goodbye. And the moment that Darren Hardy was, like ready to leave, he grabs his hand, like really, he was weak. He was already feeling really weak, but somehow he summoned the energy to grab Darren Hardy's hand. And he said, don't miss the point. Don't miss the point. And this is what I want to challenge you as well. Get the point. And not just get the point, hold it so tight that it never ever leaves your consciousness again. Operate, think, act from that point of consciousness, from that perspective, because everything then will change for you. As Tony Robbins says, another way to look at it is that no matter what is going on in your life, you can always have a beautiful state. So, number 1, nothing is more important than that I feel good, meaning that what you perceive as your peak, bodily, physical, emotional, and mental health is your number 1 priority. We have one little headache and all hell breaks loose, right? So imagine how vital that is and how many times we take something for granted that we shouldn't. Number 2, I deserve everything I want and everyone deserves my best self. Why am I telling you this? Why am I writing this every single day since January 1st, 2015, that I started my daily thoughts of inspiration? Because so many times we have this desire and there is a little voice within that says, you know what? You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this level of happiness. You don't deserve, like this big boat or this amazing home that you say you dream about. You know what? You want to convince yourself that you deserve everything you want. And not only that, it works, like it's a two-way street. And each one of us deserves your best self, meaning that this growth that will allow you, will give you your super self and your super life, will also give us your gifts. Next, I love and respect myself. We always start from that point of unconditional self-love, because anything above love in terms of the emotional scale is creative and everything under it is destructive. This is how important self-love is. 4, I am happy and march unstoppable towards my vision. This is my peak state. This is non-negotiable. And yes, I understand that sometimes this is not easy to have. But if you default to that and if you make this like your thermostat setting, you will find yourself being happy and unstoppable more and more in your life. Last but not least, I am a beautiful cell of humanity. This is something that I am becoming very passionate about. This is something that we will be working together a lot more during 2024 and on. And if you look around this amazing planet, you will see so much anger, so much, like all basically an explosion of all toxic emotions. And this, of course, is not sustainable. This is not the reason we are put here on this planet. We were put here on this planet to create an amazing life for ourselves, but also an amazing life for the planet at large, for humanity at large. So consider yourself. Stop seeing yourself, like as an island, as a standalone unit, and start seeing yourself as a cell of a greater body called humanity. So, a beautiful state is a choice. This is what we know by now. And even in the perfect storm, let's just assume right now that right now you are at the perfect storm of your life and all hell broke loose. You know what? You can still be and choose to live in a beautiful state. This is one of my greatest achievements until now in my life. In the past, I was so unhappy with my results. But at the same time, this path has led me to realize that I can be happy without any achievement. And this has been, like a legacy for me. And I am passing this on simply because now I know that there is a better way to live. And if you choose to live from a happy, a beautiful state, then you enter flow much easier, and then success becomes more accessible to you as well. So basically, I want to remind you once again that happiness is not some kind of destination. It is simply the fuel towards success. So always choose the best view possible, meaning you don't have to relocate to go anywhere. Wherever you are right now, all you have to do is trim your lenses so that you can see more beautifully what is already in front of you. Because your perspective changes and beautifies your life, not your outer results. And this blessing, because it is a blessing, the power to do so helps you point towards the things that truly deserve to be a part of your life. And you know what? Since energy flows where your focus goes, the more you appreciate what you already have, the more from that bucket, let's say, you will attract in your life in the future. So, if you're not yet at your destination, there's still something missing, right? So you need some kind of breakthrough, another or a couple of breakthroughs. Maybe it has to do with your mindset, with your belief system, or maybe it has to do with fortifying your emotions and not letting yourself drop down in the emotional scale to the point that you cannot function properly. Regardless, what you need is coaching in any shape or form. And of course, there are two ways: self-coaching and like third-party coaching from someone else. Self-coaching has to do, if you want to take like my method, all you need is to be able to answer 3 questions to self-coach yourself. Number 1, where I'm going. Number 2, why. And number 3, which is the biggest obstacle between where I am and where I want to go. Where I'm going. By answering this question, you have clarity where you're going. Why? Now you know how powerful the force that is pulling you forward is. And which is the biggest obstacle. And now you know what is dragging you back or keeping you where you are. And you know if the force that is pulling you forward is enough. Also, it helps when you coach yourself. It helps if you see yourself as actually 2 versions of you, 2 people. One of them is the one that actually is being coached, and the other is the coach. So I might ask yourself, yes, I know that it might sound a bit silly at the beginning, but go with me and take the test, and you will realize that it is much easier for you to get clarity, because it is actually as if you're talking to someone. You don't have to change seats or whatever. It's like a game player here, and it's a role play rather. And what you're doing basically is trying to realize what is going on in your mind. This, of course, is one way to go about it, and the other is to be coached by someone else or Super Angelo here if you fancy the way that I'm conveying things. If you fancy my method, you know by now that what we're doing here is not, definitely not, like some kind of normal way of doing things. I love working with people who tell me that, like I have tried, like a few coaches and I didn't get anything. Then I know it's about time to work with me, simply because one of the things that I'm very popular, let's say, about is the fact that I will never ever tell you to think, like realistically or have more realistic goals. I will take for granted what you give me as your destination, and I will work blindly, regardless if what you tell me is to land at Mars faster than Elon Musk. I don't care about your resources. I care about how much you care about arriving at your destination. So, that said, I want to back up what I'm talking about here with 15 years of deep dive into all the needle movers of happiness and success. Basically, what I feel I'm doing in the past 15 years is rewriting some of the wrongdoings of the personal development movement and of some things that simply don't work. All right? Like the go getter movement or the American dream. Look around you. What American dream? Some things simply don't make sense because we are trying to put the cart in front of the horse, like this flawed pursuit of happiness model that simply does not work. So, if you want to be happy now and feel that you are unstoppable towards anything that you desire to have as your destination, maybe I am the right fit for you to coach you for an amazing, happy, and successful 2024. Number two, I have gathered up, like literally thousands of coaching hours and thousands of hours practicing this method, which by now is the happy and unstoppable method that you have realized during this Finish Stronger Challenge that is about to end. And if we resonate by simply participating here, you have realized if I am the right fit for you. I will not try to convince you. The only thing that I want to convince you of is you truly deserve and you should be towards your super self and your super life. If I am the one that will help you more to achieve that, this is something that you know by now. I'm pretty sure that you have within latent power and amazing desires that have not yet been revealed in your outer world. And it is a great idea to start going about it right now. So, in Business Coaching 2024, it is a full year commitment if you want to work with me. I will give you the mindset, the strategy, and also the required sales funnel optimization in terms of your digital marketing in order to achieve your financial goals. And if you want to be part of my coaching community, all you have to do is hit reply on any of my emails and simply send me the word coaching, and the process to make sure that we are right fit will begin. And of course, we will have a short chat before you sign up anyway. So, that said, all you have to do is either hit reply or click the link that you will find. I'm just posting now in the chat so that there is no mistake or you don't click something that or type something that you shouldn't. just click the link that will take you to my messenger, and again, leave me just one word, coaching, and the rest, we will talk about it. It's all you have to do. All you have to do is to commit to your destination, and then I believe that you will realize if we should be doing business together or not. What truly matters is that you arrive at your destination in any way and make sure you're happy along the way. So I want to thank so many of you who are already part of my 2024 coaching program. You know who you are. And last but not least, I want to give you your homework, your exercises for this week. Number one, attune yourself with the meaning of your life. This is not like a global, universal definition. Again, let me remind you, you want to make sure you understand what the meaning of your life is, what truly deserves to be a part of your life. Number two, increase the time you live and think and act and operate from that perspective. Number three, for the third week, I'm giving you the same exercise. Keep upgrading your beliefs and keep reminding yourself that it doesn't take more time or effort. Simply as you're driving or simply as you wait in line, you can upgrade your beliefs by repeating some mantras and by taking your consciousness to the next level. Of course, last but not least, it is time. It is like truly the last leg. It is basically the last week of this amazing Finish Stronger Challenge, and you have a few days left to have your questions answered and make sure you have this breakthrough this year. Number two, to share some wins to inspire and elevate the collective consciousness and emotional state of the group. And of course, you can still invite someone who will find value from this group and be helped to achieve something this year or the upcoming amazing 2024. Because you know what? It's all about the changes that we keep making in our lives. As I like to say once again, the only fixed point in the universe should be your vision, and everything else can and will change. So until next week, we will be having some amazing time inside the group. And of course, I will see you next week with the last masterclass of Finish Stronger Challenge. Until then, always remember that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. See you next week. Ciao, ciao.